Daily Words of God. I take pleasure in those who are not suspicious of others, and I like those who readily accept the truth. Toward these two kinds of people I show great care, for in my eyes they are honest people. If you are deceitful, then you will be guarded and suspicious toward all people and matters, and thus your faith in me will be built upon a foundation of suspicion. I could never acknowledge such faith. Lacking true faith, you are even more devoid of true love. And if you are liable to doubt God and speculate about Him at will, then you are, without question, the most deceitful of all people. You speculate whether God can be like man, unpardonably sinful, of petty character, devoid of fairness and reason, lacking a sense of justice, given to vicious tactics, treacherous and cunning, pleased by evil and darkness, and so on. Is not the reason that people have such thoughts because they lack the slightest knowledge of God? Such faith is nothing short of sin. There are even some who believe that the ones who please me are precisely those who flatter and bootlick, and that those lacking in such skills will be unwelcome in the house of God and will lose their place there. Is this the only knowledge you have acquired after all these years? Is this what you have gained? And your knowledge of me does not stop at these misunderstandings. Even worse is your blasphemy against God's Spirit and vilification of heaven. This is why I say that such faith as yours will only cause you to stray further from me and be in greater opposition against me. Throughout many years of work, you have seen many truths, but do you know what my ears have heard? How many among you are willing to accept the truth? You all believe you are willing to pay the price for the truth. But how many of you have truly suffered for the truth? There is nothing but unrighteousness in your hearts, which makes you think that everyone, no matter who they are, is equally deceitful and crooked, to the point that you even believe that God incarnate could, like a normal person, be without a kind heart or benevolent love. More than that, you believe that a noble character and a merciful, benevolent nature exist only within the God in heaven. You believe that such a saint does not exist, that only darkness and evil reign on earth, while God is something with which people entrust their longing for the good and beautiful, a legendary figure fabricated by them. In your minds, the God in heaven is very upstanding, righteous, and great, worthy of worship and admiration. This God on earth, meanwhile, is but a substitute and an instrument of the God in heaven. You believe this God could not be the equal of the God in heaven, much less be mentioned in the same breath as Him. When it comes to the greatness and honor of God, they belong to the glory of the God in heaven. But when it comes to the nature and the corruption of man, they are attributes in which the God on earth has a part. The God in heaven is eternally lofty, while the God on earth is forever insignificant, weak, and incompetent. The God in heaven is not given to emotion, only righteousness, while the God on earth only has selfish motives and is without any fairness or reason. The God in heaven has not the slightest crookedness and is forever faithful, while the God on earth always has a dishonest side. The God in heaven loves man dearly, while the God on earth shows man inadequate care, even neglecting him entirely. This erroneous knowledge has long been kept within your hearts, and may also be perpetuated in the future. You regard all deeds of Christ from the standpoint of the unrighteous, and evaluate all his work, as well as his identity and essence, from the perspective of the wicked. You have made a grave mistake and done that which has never been done by those coming before you. That is, you serve only the lofty God in heaven with a crown upon his head, and never attend to the God whom you regard as so insignificant that he is invisible to you. Is this not your sin? Is this not a classic example of your offense against the disposition of God? You worship the God in heaven. You adore lofty images and esteem those distinguished for their eloquence. You are gladly commanded by the God that fills your hands with riches, and crave the God who can fulfill your every desire. The only one you do not worship is this God who is not lofty. The only thing you hate is association with this God, whom no man can regard highly. The only thing you are unwilling to do is to serve this God who has never given you a single penny, and the only one who is unable to make you yearn for him is this unlovely God. This God cannot enable you to broaden your horizons, to feel as if you have found a treasure, much less fulfill what you wish. Why, then, do you follow him? Have you given thought to questions like this? What you do does not merely offend this Christ. More importantly, it offends the God in heaven. This is not, I think, the purpose of your faith in God.